Hello, happy people, and welcome back to another episode of 65 and Counting. I'm your host, Adam Fry. I'm a certified Medicare planner, and I'm here to ask the important questions that you want answered by industry professionals. This show is for everyone and anyone coming up on that important milestone of 65 years old. That means retirement, it means Medicare eligibility, or it means that you're just plain interested in the world of retirement planning. But whatever it is, on this show, you'll hear from the people that know it best. Now let's take care of some housekeeping before we get into today's episode. I want to talk about annual election period. This year's annual election period is coming very soon. It's time to review your plans and make sure that you're on the most appropriate one for 2021. That rhymes. New AEP catchphrase? Either way, make sure that you keep an eye on your inbox because in the coming weeks, if you're a current client of American Retirement Advisors, you're going to be getting a very important email explaining how to get started with this year's annual reviews. If you aren't currently a client of ours, what are you waiting for? Give us a call to have your plan reviewed by a certified Medicare planner to ensure that you're on the most appropriate plan for the new year. Also, let's talk about workshops. If you missed workshops this month, don't worry because September registration for online and in-person workshops is live on www.123easymedicare.com, or you can give us a call at 602-281-3898 to sign up. In-person workshops are still only in the Las Vegas area and seats are limited due to COVID, so sign up today. Okay, folks. It's time for another deep dive into one of the American Retirement Advisors' success stories. Now, if you remember last month, we took a look at one client's struggle and solution with the high cost of insulin and diabetic supplies. This month, we're going to take a look at the solution to Medicare Advantage Plan's network restrictions when it comes to needing emergency and urgent care. Before I dive into the details, here's David Edge to read the article to you, and then we'll talk about it a little bit. It's called Me Too. Take it away, David.
Me Too. Gene had a medical emergency, and his wife Lucille drove him to the local hospital emergency facility. They both knew that the hospital was in their Medicare Advantage network and had no worries about being responsible for out-of-network financial charges. Once Gene was checked into the emergency room and the emergency staff identified his condition, they realized they did not have a specialist on duty for his medical condition and could not treat him. After stabilizing Gene, the emergency room doctor explained to them both exactly what the issue was and reassured them that the staff was searching for a doctor on duty at another hospital who could treat his condition. Within an hour, the doctor returned and expressed that they indeed had found a doctor on duty and that the hospital did have a bed for him. It seemed that there was a double jeopardy in that they could have found a doctor, but the hospital might not have had a bed for him. Lucky for Gene, they had a doctor and a bed. An ambulance transferred him to the next hospital and the doctor was waiting. As Gene was being treated, the hospital administrator had come to Lucille and had her sign forms. And afterwards, Lucille was very concerned that she had to sign a waiver stating that they would be responsible for the medical bill if Gene's Medicare Advantage plan would not pay. Lucille called Gene's Advantage plan and confirmed that the new hospital was not in Gene's plan network. Now she began to worry about the financial exposure they could be responsible for above any normal copays. As Gene recovered from the surgery over the next few days, Lucille could not contain her worries about the medical bills and expressed her concern to Gene. Gene had one response: call David at American Retirement Advisors. He'll have the answer. As soon as we learned of their financial fears, we assured them that they would only be responsible for their normal hospital copays, which was a flat fee of $200 a day for the first 7 days in their plan. So, no matter what the hospital bill, $1,400 was the most that they would have in financial exposure. Needless to say, Lucille, as well as Gene, was relieved. You got questions about your plan? On each and every carrier card, no matter what plan, you have an 800 customer service number that you can call and get answers to your medical and billing questions. And if you can't get an answer there, you always have our number. Call us. we can help.
Thanks, Mr. Edge. Wow, there's a story that kept me on the edge of my seat. Get it? Edge? But in all seriousness, that was an intense story. Now, there's a lot of fear involved in a situation like that. With all the stress of having a medical emergency aside, when you're restricted to a network, medical bills have a spot in the front seat of the anxiety mobile as well. So if you're on a Medicare supplement, you won't need to worry about a network when you experience an emergency. You'll typically be able to go to any doctor, any hospital in the United States. This article is important for those on Medicare Advantage plans who do need to think about networks when they're seeking medical care. But here's the good news. All Medicare Advantage plans are obligated to pay for emergency room visits. We discussed this a little bit in last week's episode, but I'll go over it again because it's important. Medicare Advantage plans are required to cover everything that original Medicare covers, but your out-of-pocket costs may differ. A Medicare Advantage plan may charge you a co-payment for every emergency room visit, but you'll still get the care you need regardless of if you are in an in-network facility or not. So what Gene experienced is what we in the insurance world call a true emergency. That means that he needed immediate medical care to protect him from the loss of life or serious bodily harm. Insurance companies and Medicare understand the need for fast action in regards to your health and are willing to make exceptions in these types of cases. Now, you may be wondering, Adam, what if I'm traveling and I just get sick? Is that a true emergency? What should I do? If you're outside of your plan's service area or network and you need to see a doctor, the good news is that Medicare Advantage plans also are required to cover urgent care anywhere in the United States without imposing any additional costs. So urgent care is anything that requires immediate medical attention for a sudden illness or injury that is not life-threatening. Now, what about your medications when you're out of network? Pharmacy networks are national, so if you lose your medication or are prescribed something new when you're out of town, you can fill it at any in-network pharmacy. For example, if you go to XYZ pharmacy at home and you need to fill something while you're traveling, just look for an XYZ pharmacy and have it filled there. All in all, if it can wait until you're back home and you're in your plan's service area, it should wait. If you want to see a podiatrist for some routine foot care or get your next round of an immunization, be sure to receive that care in your home city. But travel without fear of high medical bills in the event of an emergency. And like Gene, if you're worried about getting the care you need in an emergency situation and the doctor you need to see is not at an in-network hospital, your plan is there for you. And it will not put you in a situation where you're left with outrageous bills. So that's it for today, everyone. I want to thank you all for tuning in, and don't forget to like the video and share it with your friends, family, and follow our page. Tune in next week for a special newsletter reading from David Edge. And as always, everyone, have a great week.